kilometers above the Earth's surface. And so the receiver is particularly to establish the station. And so minimum of 4 observations are what we need. And as we see those observations, we are noting that we have a robust system. But these signals are coming through the climate. And there are a lot of things that happen as that happens. And that means that for us, we want to establish position. But there are a lot of interactions that our signal has with the weather. So we have reasons to have different delays that cause error. But significant among those delays is the ionospheric and the tropospheric delay, which actually talk about the ionospheric scintillation that happened, as well as the tropospheric scintillation that happened. But whereas these are the scintillations that happen, we want to see in this particular study how the tropospheric scintillation, which is the variability of precipitated water vapor, can help in our situation. We are looking at the signal. Actually, it is possible, as they say, that these two are the major errors that we have in the positioning. For us as geodesists or geomatics, we want this error out to have an accurate position. But a meteorologist actually need this as a major signal in order for them to predict weather correctly. And so we have what we call the GNSS metrology as a particular body of research that we are looking at now. So at the troposphere, our signals suffer significant delay. At the ionosphere, once we do dual frequency, it is eliminated. But at the troposphere, we only have an estimate of our water vapor, of our position. So the water vapor is significantly affecting it. And the different approaches that have been adopted in GNSS metrology are stated here. Now, the retrieval of our source, tropospheric wet delay is significantly about 3-4 steps. The first thing we are getting is the tropospheric wet delay, which is resolved as a resultant in the zenith direction of the receiver using a precise point positioning method. Meteorology. And this actually, there are models already that have been established, both international and local researchers have also worked on it. We tested it with the international base, but we have adopted local in order to actually be able to have our weather particularly model. And so the research flow of the work is as I don't know, after the data acquisition, we carry out the precise point positioning, and after the precise point positioning, we add the GNSS methodology, which is the estimation of the precipitated water vapor, and then the modeling, which gives us the interaction and the relationship between the precipitated water vapor and the rainfall instances during the rainy season, severe rainfall instances during the rainy season. The GNSS stations are in about 15 locations in Nigeria, but it is not completely operational. And for the period of our study, what we have actually looked at is those functioning ones, and there are only 7. So I have here one of the volume, the volume of the data available for the data processing, and then the highest, there was none of the stations that have a complete data observation between 2011 to 2016. But at least the ones that have it, we eliminated all the stations that have data lower than 50%. Our data sets were both primary and secondary. We had our GNSS observation, particularly primary, since it is what we are actually looking at in order to model the weather. And then we have also other information as well as rainfall, as well as a temperature, pressure, and then we included wind speed, which has not been adopted by other researchers. And then the different implementation methods for each of these processes applied in the research flow are stated on the slide. Now, we also have the previous work and the identified gap. All of the GNSS methodology work that has been done in Nigeria, the precipitate water vapor has been estimated by some researchers, but there has not been any researcher who look at the influence of, the influence of precipitate water vapor at the instance of severe precipitation. And that is the major thrust of this research. And there are also other models that have been adopted by different persons in the different systems and in the different parts of the body of research, both in the temperate region as well as the tropical region. But this particularly is the first tropical region. This study is the first study in tropical region of West Africa that we are actually going to. And then several models have been used. ANN has been used. The support vector system has been used. But the challenge of each one of them is that all of them actually look at the system of modeling as a black box. And then now we are introducing a system that actually not only gives us a model, but tell us the interaction of each of the parameters within the model. And so we engage the tree-based examples. And the model that was followed is also applied on the slide. In engaging that, we add the interaction of different models, the contribution of each of the models computed, as well as some other optimization that was also done. The variation optimization was done particularly. Now we have the results. We have the precise compositioning of our precipitate water vapor, which again, as we look at it, together, characterize it together with rainfall season, we find out that we actually model the rainfall season, the rainfall pattern in the different climatic zones that we have all of these. And in order to validate what we have at our climate, at our precipitate water vapor, we try to validate it with the state-of-the-art Era 5 data, which is a reanalysis database. The reanalysis database is a combination of all the different weather parameters that are gotten from different sources for previous years. And since our data also is from 2011 to 2016, and then we look out we were able to actually find the basis for the validation. And when we did perform the correlation analysis on our own information, as well as their 5 precipitate water vapor, we find out that for all the stations where we have actually performed our GNSS methodology, all the precipitate water vapor were over and above 0.9 correlation with the Era 5 data set. But each of them also have unique behavior that shown on the slide that was seen at each of the climatic zones. The trend analysis for both the rainfall and the precipitate water vapor carried out is also as presented on the slide. Unfortunately, it's not on the paper, it's just on the slide. And we also perform spatiotemporal analysis with a map to show what is the particular significance of the precipitate water vapor at instances that we have these high water vapor and rainfall. So we saw that our rainfall actually, the instance of rainfall, particularly during the wet season, we had a very significantly high precipitate water vapor content during the wet season. And when we also look at the seasonal trend analysis, that we look at the dry season and look at the wet season, we saw that particularly for 2012, where we had over 30 states of the Federation flooded as a combination of both opening of the Lago Dam at the Cameroon border, as well as heavy rainfall down the Niger Basin. We saw that the particular states where the flooding started from due to heavy downpour was Lagos. And at that time, our precipitation water vapor computed also was particularly also for Lagos. And then we now begin to look at the correlation for each of the severe models. So we look at 10 different extreme, 3 base examples in order for us to just say this is the best. And when we carry it out and we look at the difference between the train and the test, the one that outperformed others was the extreme gradient boosting. And that was what was engaged for the modeling that we carry out. And then we actually did some metric, we computed some accuracy metric, like the root mean square. We have been carried out the mean accuracy. We look at the mean, mean absolute percentage error, as well as the Knockley score error. And then looking at, like I mentioned earlier, the extreme gradient boosting has a unique way of actually giving us explainables that tells us what is going on in the model, not just as a black box. And so we have like a game theory system that the extreme gradient boosting uses to compute the impact of each of the variables in the system. And so it gave us the impact. And we saw that the wind speed, which is a new parameter that just been included into the model, performed just as the same as temperature and pressure, which other studies have not particularly looked. And then we look at, in order to have a basis for comparison and for validating our model, we also carried out the ANN analysis. We carried out, we also look at the ANN analysis, as well as we carry out the ANN analysis, and then in order for us to have that basis for comparison, then we compare the extreme gradient boosting with the least square method that we adopted by several that perform this severe weather modeling in the tropical region, as well as the ANN. And we compute it. We actually look at that interaction using the technique of order preference or similarity, of similarity to a D solution. And in this case, we introduce some threshold value for us in order for us to measure the accuracy. In all of it, out of the 7 stations that we have, it was only in 1 station that the ANN outperformed extreme gradient boosting. So overall, the extreme gradient boosting actually outperformed the ANN as well as the D square due to the effect of the wind speed, which will be shown as it was. And then we now did a modeling in order to further validate. We did a modeling for 2017 to 2022, and then we got other institute data of rainfall, particularly for ULAG, which is the station here in Lagos, in our university, and then we carried out a comparative analysis to check what is the true detection rate and what is the false alarm rate that our model is able to compute within the time space. And then we find out that within the threshold value of 30 to 70, our model for the true institute data for rainfall predicted 18 out of the 22 instances that were recorded for 2022 of the data. It predicted it, and we add our operating characteristics, the receiver operating characteristics, which show us actually the balance between the true detection rate and then the false alarm rate, and we achieved 0.71 as our result. In all of this, we actually find the following. Number one finding we find is that our GNSS observation actually correctly model when we use it for GNSS methodology, you correctly model the precipitation events in all the climatic zones that we have in Nigeria. We also find out that our precise point positioning, which we carried out using the GPS or GNSS analysis software that was produced by thematic group in the University of New Brunswick, Canada, when we use that, we find out that the precipitate water vapor also correctly model the variability, correctly model what we have as precipitation in Nigeria. And we also find out that each one of them has unique nature of behavior before severe weather event. Before severe weather event, there's a spike that we experience in our precipitate water vapor, and then by the time the severe rainfall actually starts, we find our precipitate water vapor dropping. And our last finding was also that we were able to now model the extreme gradient boosting, model the relationship between the the precipitate water vapor as well as the instances of severe rainfall using the extreme gradient boosting. And the residual we have, compared to all other ones, was in 5 months. Our contribution to knowledge is in 5 points. Number one, we have evidence-based because we're able to correlate what we have to the events that occurred in 2012. And then we have conceptual framework, a methodological conceptual framework already been developed for further researchers in this. And then an investigative study and workflow has actually been defined for this research for other researchers. The derivation of precipitate water vapor for threshold value that can help to monitor severe weather events in the different climatic zones, particularly for the points that for the stations that we use in this study is possible. Then we find out significant, like I mentioned, that wind speed is a major thing to consider in the sense that we are looking at the interaction of the different tropical air masses, the continental tropical air mass that come from the Sahara, as well as the maritime air mass that comes from the maritime Atlantic area here. And then we're also able to model using the extreme gradient boosting, which gave us a good accuracy and we forecasted for the time being because of the limitation of the data. We have a publication that has been done and other ones are on the way. Thank you very much.
So, containment of 6, that's aside the power that home. So, thank you for the presentation and the floor is open for observation and comment. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Yes, thank you for the presentation. A very good one. Because just want to just addition. Number one, just to correct information. When the receiver review of 4 satellites, that's when it can measure position. I want to give that just a few examples because even more, when it's more, it's to be able to see the time. Are you following me, please? And if it's a view of 5, 6, 7, 8, you will see it. So it's going to work on. It's going to work on the simple. Just a simple mathematics to put that least square method. So and again, you are fond of saying we. I think we need to define the study. Study, you know, not just we. Then just to point out that in APC we just raised the concern, and this particular concern is going to ask about why you having service supervisors. This department or the supervisor because it's very clear to I understand, but won't give it. So please, I get to go to page 3. Are you following this? Yes, I think when you go to your page 3, the statement of problem that you stated there is actually, it didn't address what it's supposed to be. What you presented, as you were saying, what you presented about climate issue, everything about that is very clear. it was clearer, your presentation, when you're speaking to it. But what you wrote here, you not just identify that. So you must be able to take a statement of problem that is able to stand alone, and it should be able to just carry the problem. Let's see the problem really. Not writing other things that will distract you when you are please, I hope you are following that. Then page 4, you want to speak as follows. When you have your research aim and objectives, just one a simple way that we write it, the specific objectives of this study are to, instead of these repetitions of monotonous or that you listed there, you listed them. Are you following? You know, only one day put a full column, then you now begin to write your, instead of there. Then page 5. The cinema of study say almost fixating with what I mentioned about the cinema of problem. The cinema of study is just it's too. I mean, you wrote too many things here and it's distracting. You must be able to let us know what's the topic. Having cinema of study and more than we paid is too much. So don't write it. Let's see what it is and the beneficial. What is going to be beneficial? And here we always emphasize that SDG goal. One of them or something put there. Let us see that address it. You know, the problem. One clear thing that we know that flooding is a major issue. So it's one aspect of SDG goal. So just help to see how you can do that. 8. Yes, I mean, it is just minor. Operational development and good, they are more operational. Many of times, many of times, if it's coming from your work and nobody is using it, you are the one that define it and you are the one that. But if it's something very professional that everybody is using, so it's not so. The statistics. I think you have to meet. Yes, it's just some of your findings. You know, you have used Arabic numerals, number 1, number 2 that you wrote there. But the one that you use inside of the finding, you may use Roman numerals. That would be misleading. 37. Yes, your condition of knowledge, as written here, it's not carrying, it's not making the work to stand out. You listed, you just like list. I think that, for example, that number 1, you should be able to say this study develop a predictive model. Maybe for like that, for doing something. Instead of just making a statement that's very, very general. We have to have people to see that this study has done this, and you know, we have to speak that. And then, to create the novelty of the work, not to have the strength of work. Again, the conclusion, normally for your conclusion is going to be that part. Your conclusion should come before that. Your conclusion comes before that one. Let's conclude the fact of one. And then the recommendation that PG school normally want that to prepare or can consume your conclusion relatively fast. That is the way I'm looking at the recommendation. But on a general scale now, your literature review, it can still be expanded. I have some works here that maybe I wanted to find out whether you look at them too. But those not to be like that. But then when you are presenting, you now really emphasize which is not there, that you try to domesticate it more within our own local set, which is good. But at times we have to analyze the work really so to understand that to have a comparison. But I had that you told us that you used the University of New Britain or something to do something to validate. Are you following this? So I think have you heard about
Yeah. No problem. It's okay, but you may just find out some of these things that you add to it and beef up the work.
All right.
But for now, in the way of claiming the work to make the work, you must hype it. We must see that the work is solving the problem, and your problem was very clear. And the problem you are not so. And when you are not able to solve it, your contributor to knowledge must now own the job, the work, and that we. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Prof. I will only talk about the format. And like Dr. Akala noted, your contributions, what you have written here, seem to differ from what we even presented. What you presented seems fairly okay, but not strictly okay. Because there are certain expressions you are expected to show in establishing job knowledge, which you didn't. So if we start from the beginning, where you have scope, study area, and division of the study. I don't feel more. The scope is 2. I use it as a 1.4. Scope, study area, and division of the study. No, that's
Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I notice in page 4 in your statement of the problem, you are mentioning aims. Even in literature, if you check page 4, the last paragraph, and in the part of the literature, you're also mentioning your aim. Look for it. Part of the literature. In part of this, that's page 15. Towards the before 2.4, the last, mentioned the aims at that point. Understand, which is just literature, just for you to discuss what people have done. So I'm not expecting the aims to come in those places. Page 5, the citation. I don't know, maybe that one is allowed. Ogotola 2022, October 20. Can you see? Okay. Page 5, before the last paragraph. Ogotola 2022.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure.
2022, 224. Was Nigeria Federal Movement Leadership Daily. Dailies. Dailies. Well, I don't know. That 20, that October 20, I don't know. I don't know. Please confirm.
Noted.
Okay, I'm coming. Now, in equation 2.4, and when you now define the time, you use capital H, where P is the surface pressure, capital H is ellipsoidal height, whereas you use small letter in 2.4. Define phi. Now, this model, this TM by babies and the one that was developed in Nigeria, 2.6 and 2.7. Why is the difference? Before getting this TM in Nigeria, what did they do to arrive at this value, and it's different from what babies use? I don't know. I'm just like, no, just so.
I think so.
Okay.
All right. So Bevis is okay. Bevis is the first person who worked on this, and what he created was a global model. But Isioye was the one who worked on the one for Nigeria, and then he was able to access data local based and to derive that model. And so that's why, again, because we are looking at the weather, particular weather, we can predict severe instances that people begin to panic to respond to with global scale when we have when we can have understanding of what we have as our local or regional model.
But you know, it has one variable. That means I'll measure different data of temperature at a particular place to model that particular place.
Yes. But
that part of it, you don't work, so we just like to come in. So that's the last one on the table. So just now, I don't agree. So we just like to come in.
It is just, that's why I bolden it. It's just to show that this is what we are putting in comparison to all the other ones that are available, that have been done by other researchers.
If I want to sign, how can I sign this one? Is it your test I'm going to sign? What I'm saying is from this test, we may not, we don't normally allow it. I don't know, but we can send it. If you can read, you can write it. You can write this down without putting that in that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
But not again, willing and going to this done.
This is question 33. I don't know it.
So that question, that global model, can it not be domesticated?
It can. It can. Was what is your did, like I told you. And then what can also be done is to now look at the peculiar climatic zones and then domesticate it again further into the climatic zone. But the challenge that we are having, which we did not make this study to go into it, is the challenge of data sets. We do not have access to data sets that can help us do that particularly. I'm talking of particular data sets for each of those areas. You know, the volume of data set we need to develop this model is not the same as what we need to put into the model for what we want to achieve. And so that's why the volume of data set needed to achieve this model for each of the climatic zones is not actually accessible. Well, maybe not. Not available.
The one thing I know about machine learning, I need like 10,000 above data. So how you train your data, maybe that you have to clear.
Okay.
How you train it?
Okay.
How you get the data and how you train your machine to run the data and predict.
Okay, so what was done in this study was to get time series data of this for the number of years that we can access the data. And then we split it into 80-20 ratio, which we include 20 for training, and then 80 rather for training, and then 20 for data.
So you can get the data extraction or what? Since you cannot have the access, you can have the extraction of data or what?
No, we didn't just extract data. We assessed, for example, the GNSS data was in situ observation from our NIGNET station. The temperature data and the temperature data, the pressure data, the wind speed data, they are all gotten from remotely sensed data that are very, very reliable, and other researchers have implemented in.
Now, this is question 33.
Yes, sir.
I want to understand the inner workings of the model. This question 3.3, page 20.
Yes.
This Ly subscript I, comma, Y, what does it mean? How does it work inside? machine learning.
All right, so the Ly minus Y1 is actually a loss function. Now, so the machine learning, what it does is to take the data, predict what you have, and then compare it to the original data you brought in, and then compute the loss function in between, and then continue to do that. That's why it's called boosting. Continue to do that by the differences, and then predicting something accurate comparing to the original, and then continue like that until something that has a very optimal value is
Is it done locally or globally?
Sir?
You know, is it done locally or globally?
No, the extreme gradient boosting is a global, I mean, is a known
What I mean is that the depicted as a ring, you know, for each
Yes.
one, that or each data set,
yes,
is it computed globally?
yes, sir.
No,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, page 23. What happened to B? The blue line. C, the blue line. The first few months of, is it years? What happened to the blue lines there?
Those are the seasons of data gaps.
That
We have data gap at the observation station. You will notice that the temperature, the rainfall are available, but there are no GNSS observation for that time. So that's why those blue lines.
therefore, I don't know, maybe it's your total
Yes, even the
exactly, because it didn't specify exactly what happened when you are reporting it. Okay. Yes. Now, I found out that you predicted PWV from the data you got from GNSS. This ARA5, why laboring to do all this work when I can get this data from ARA5?
Now, a work has even been published on what you said, sir. We were comparing the dynamics of the behavior of ERA5 together with GNSS observation. Generally, ERA5 could be seen as what can predict it. But when we go down to climatic zone, where there can be a surge and rainfall can change within a few minutes, now we need something that is on ground that gives us that change, because the ERA5 is a combination of different data sets that now predicts, not minding the peculiar specific issues at the local region. But now we have in situ observation. And in fact, the ERA5 reanalysis data set is always available, not particularly as a prediction for the current data. It's only supposed to, is a past data information that we only use to validate and do some other things. So that's why it was used for the same case in this.
Thank you. But my problem now is, why is it so predictive? It's something exact. Now, what I'm saying is that I'm not saying I'm disputing your data. For at least I'm expecting some variations, some errors. I'm just expecting it, because actually you are localizing your own. That one is total global. So I'm expecting some jump, some different things that should be clearing. It doesn't make your work not good when you have such variations in the results. I think.
Okay. Do you want to respond?
Yes, I don't know. I just my
like I mentioned earlier, sir. Some of these data, even though it's a global database, there are also data information, because these people have information as far back as 1949 and all of that. So it has modeled different regions, particularly. And Nigeria is not a different. The only thing is that we are not having in situ observation to update what is in that database. So in any case, they are also predicting, and it's not too far. It is only when we have issue of surges that cause flooding like this that we now have the GNSS observation as we have been put forth here. So what we only did, and also in all of them, there was none of them that had correlation of 1. None of them. They were all correlated, slightly above 0.9 and all of that. And even that, because if we are looking at weather and severe issues, we must be able to go further. And then that's why to also say that GNSS observation is needed above ERA5.
Again, can I say from this result in page 23, from the layman's language, once I see my PWV value getting to 40, I should know that I struggle with coming.
Now, the PWV is not the only parameter responsible for severe rainfall. There are other convective factors that are also responsible. What we are establishing at this point is that globally, the PWV, which is the absolute moisture content in the vertical column of the Earth surface, is the major driver of the weather. There are also other parameters that come into the system to cause severe weather. So that's why in the work, in the study, you will notice also that what I gave was given, which gave us a 0.7 area under curve of the receiver operating characteristic. Was we have the truth rate, detection rate, and then the false alarm rate. This was because it is not only precipitated water vapor that is responsible. We cannot particularly say, but it is that triggers all other. That's why we're saying, so it is between 30 and 70 that we say. If we say just 40, it may reach 40 and actually nothing happens. So there are other parameters. For example, there will be spike in temperature or a decrease in temperature. There will also be other parameters that come in. But we are looking in this particular stage at the moisture content, which is the major driver.
Oh, I want to just, maybe because we have few results here. Because from this your plot in 4.3, there may be others. Once there is going to be extreme rainfall,
Yes.
we see the thing going on.
Yes.
Not the pictures that have.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I just find out. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think my battery finish because that's the only one I got. So yes, page 32. Now you have used ARV5 to predict PWV for 2017 to 2022. Is it not possible for you to use your own data set to predict what is going to happen in 2017?
Now, in order to predict severe rainfall, what I predicted was severe rainfall.
I mean PWV, because for this figures you have for ARV.
Yeah, so you will notice that the GNSS observation started from 2011 and then ended at 2016. Sorry, 2016. And then from 2016, the system has been left, and in fact, it has been completely abandoned. And it is now that it is now being renovated, brought back and all of that. And this is one of the advocates of this study. We need not abandon such a system when we can actually use it for some other things. So what was done was that ERA 5, like I mentioned before, was correlated with the GNSS precipitated water vapor before now. And it was also in the slide, it was also in the presentation. And so we saw a very close correlation. So we're thinking, even for now, let's use ERA 5 precipitated water vapor to now predict severe rainfall and see what happens using the model, which is what the study has done. But the truth about it is that if we have more in situ observation from our GNSS observation, it is possible to have something of improved accuracy as mentioned.
Maybe you can change the color of those three down.
Okay.
I mean, these three colors down, understand?
Okay.
So that it can be distinct.
Okay.
I think I'll
Well, it's on the format.
Yes.
You start from your page 1.
Yes.
You are starting with the Department of Surveying and Informatics. It should be University of Lagos first, followed by School of Postgraduate Studies in your department. There's nothing like Faculty of Engineering.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, the status of your supervisors, other than professor, should be stated in front. Okay. Now, your equations, tables, and figures do not carry chapter heading. Your equations, tables, and figures should not carry chapter heading. You just number them sequentially, whether 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 like that. That's the teaching school rule. Even for thesis. So please try to check your section S to be sure that you are using normal like research aim and objectives.
Yes, sir.
PG school doesn't use research aim and objectives. And these are things they will be looking at.
Yes, I am. I am.
I think, okay. Thank you.
Why is that? Why is that?
There is no breaker.
Okay, please, I just want to, I read the report. Actually, when I read it, something came to my mind that this person that wrote this report must be a very good student. So you did a good work, and I like your presentation. Number one, I am still looking at if, because of the method you use, why is it that optimization is not showing your title? Because what you did is optimization, and it's not even reflecting at all in the title. It's as if you are doing factor study, the way the title is being called. It's like correlative effects. But from the presentation and the content here is optimization. You yourself said it that those previous models did not predict above this, that your own is the, you understand what I'm trying to say? That please just take care of that. Then, yes, sir.
Are you saying that in the title, the technique used in the study, we can do?
No, sir. I said this work is about optimization.
Yeah.
And the title does not reflect optimization. It's not the technique I'm talking about. Yes.
Was a bad model in
Yes. Yes, something like that. Because the way it's being called, the title, although when you get to PG school, it will still be discussed. The way it's being called is as if somebody is just doing a factor study. I don't know if you can go back there. The topic. No, it's what the technique is doing that I'm referring to.
The word organization, yes, that I think indeed.
May not be more than
it's a model. Yeah, it's not standing it. It's not standing it. Look, just look at it. This just look as if you are studying a particular effect, even in singular. And from what you presented, you said you study many things. You did this, you did this. I don't know if I'm making sense. Okay, please. I just suggest, it's just a suggestion. Now, by all standards, abstract should contain 5 aspects. The background, which is like small introduction. The work that was done, how it was done, the result obtained, and conclusion. Standard abstract should contain 5 aspects. The background of the study is just small, not like normal introduction. Background of the study, what was done, that is the work. You introduce the work. Then the method you use, that's methodology. Then the result you obtain, and conclusion. Then that conclusion should be based on the significance of the results. So in this work now, the last part is lacking. No conclusion, no signal of the work stated. So please just try to add that one to the abstracts. I want to, the model you develop, is it MISO or MEMO?
It's multiple input, multiple input single output.
Multiple input single output. Okay. I just want to know, because if you say MEMO now, I will say that effect might not go. So since you say MISO, I don't have a problem with effects. So I was trying to, now from my own angle, you said a lot of things can cause flooding. Can you just give me some?
All right. One of the things that can cause flooding may be bad drainage system.
Okay.
Another thing that can cause flooding may be the normal global rise in temperature.
Which is as a result of what?
The climate, the greenhouse.
You did not say it's not even been mentioned. That is, you was just in temperature spike. You don't even mention greenhouse. Nothing. I just wrote it down. No global warming, greenhouse gas effects. It's not even been mentioned at all in the report. You understand what I'm saying now? Yeah. And so that one. Now
Now, I want to suggest, based on what Dr. Ilade said, the global model and the localized one. Let me just say, when somebody develops a global model, there will be a factor of proportionality. That factor of proportionality is what will now differentiate one country from another. So if you use that global model and introduce that factor of proportionality, you will get that factor for Nigeria. If you can do that one for global model, then the local one, do that one. Do the analysis of the two and find the error. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. Find the error. You'll be able to, even if you get that cost and proportionality now, you might even have another model that might be your own. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. He said he does not have access. He said he does not have access to it. He said it. No, to me, I believe that if you can do literature more, you should be able to get that. Then when you are presenting, you made mention of something that this is the first time I don't want to say me, I'm a staff in engineering. In PG school, they won't allow that statement though. To the best of my knowledge. Even that data that you say you cannot have access to the best of your knowledge. But if you search more, you might get it.
No, I didn't get data from you. No, I didn't get it.
This one, maybe the future work. Because we are just looking at it now, even population, one C is conjected into two can be a paper. Yes. But it's the future one, not your case.
Yeah, you understand?
But you may establish a conversation with them.
Okay, now go to your aim and objective. I want to show you something there. Aim. Is it here? Okay, now when you set out to do this work, what do you want to achieve?
I wanted to look at the work was to look at how the variability of precipitable water vapor instances correlates with instances of severe precipitation.
Now look at the aim, based on what you just said now. You said the aim is to model. You see, any aim you write, I always say, if any aim you write, that somebody can ask a question, you have not written the aim. If you say the aim is to model, I say, okay, when you model, what do you want to get? You know, you have allowed me to ask question. When you model, what do you want to get? What you want to get is what you just told me now. That is the aim. Aim is destination. Yeah. Don't say to model. Aim is destination. Aim must not give chair to question. You must not give room to question. The word aim is destination, the goal. If you develop, what do you want to get? That's to correlate is very, it's okay.
The outcomes, what's coming out of it or something.
Yes,
you have to make a statement of what
is coming out from your work. That's the aim. Okay. Then your objectives. So look at this 2 and 3. You said to estimate. Please be changing your word, you understand? Then, okay. You understand? So don't be using the same word. Okay. Then I think more of the thing you wrote in your scheme of study, they should go to background of the study. They are not part of scheme of the study. They should go to the background. So then I saw the description of the study area is not part of scope. You should be part of your methodology because you give it a particular section, description of the study area. On that, you should please respond that. Then also that map should be taken to your methodology. Okay. All right. So your definition, It should be definition of terms, not operational definition of terms. Then your equations. Please, when you write equation, you should put the equation in brackets. So there you see what I'm trying to say. All this equation. Yeah. You see, don't say equation, just brackets. Don't write equation again. Okay. Don't say equate. Just say when you write, you just put brackets. Open bracket. Thank you. Yeah, but they should be in brackets. And in the slide, continuous numbering. It is in the report. You number according to chapter. Okay. So this one is equation 2, not 2.2. You get yes, now. No, is in the slide is number 1, 2, 3. Okay. It is here. It's under chapter 2. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. No. Sir.
For table, equation, figure. Don't make
Wait.
No, he started.
No,
I am here now.
I'm not disputing.
For my exam. He was my.
Now,
Now, it's coming on. In our time, because
it's chapterized there. So I thought you should number and put brackets. Put in brackets. You don't know how to say it. I stable one. No. Yes. Then this should be chapterized. No, this it should be sir. It should be chapterized. No, sir, it should be chapterized.
Before I left the PG school, it was just changed to what is. So you have to now be numbering. Yes. Because I contested against it. Why it should be chapterized? But they said no. Even your thesis now carries pure number, figures, 1 to tables. No, it's no longer chapterized.
And they are not living that. They are teaching different things. I only use the number. So that they use the and they are separating.
Yes. Sir, there are some things that pitches when it comes to this. There are some things that pitches to silence on.
No, that's control. Just look at it. Let's not do it. And not do it because we just I think about 6 that we're talking about the own because it was citation in all the names.
Up to 7. Up to 7. No, that is upper 6. That is upper 6.
No, they posted this thing on our.
That is upper 6. Yes. No, 7.
And that's why you must be the filter bracket, you must have pattern. That's more
yes. No, the issue is that if while they are presenting or after students are presented, there's still something we argue on. That they should not enforce on all the department of faculty. So they have started releasing some department now to do like law now. They don't follow formats. Mathematics, they don't follow format like that.
No, they don't mention that one of
No, I'm just telling you. So we started releasing some faculties now.
I'm not taken as a value.
Yes. So that's what we are saying. Okay. So sorry. There is a place where you use small h. This place. But when you are defining your h, you use capital. You've seen it, have you? Okay. So we are down. Then it's up. There are some places you don't italize some it's up. So there is a place you wrote matrix, a particular matrix. Is it on the slide? No, write it very well. You cannot just write. Yes, be 20. So okay, write it very well. If you want to summarize matrix, it should be more than this. It's not just first line and last line. Then your tables under this one is not APC now. It's even in paper writing. On the table, just show by standard, table should not have many lines. It's possible to read all those dividing lines. Yes, standard table. It's not about APC. Yeah, the first up and the last. All these the one in the middle. Try to remove them. So, you understand? Yes. That is standard everywhere, even in paper writing. Yes, yes. Even in paper writing.
Double line, double space,
Then you started putting equations again in your result and discussion. I'm telling you. Even your under your result and discussion, you say result and analysis. There's not like that. It's result and discussion. Yes, it's result and discussion. No, it's result and discussion. No.
I know, many years ago, we used to follow my PhD project of my saying that you can analyze our but they think that one is here. Now, that's not this year.
So it's result and discussion. So please remove all the go there now under the result and discussion. So you please, equations are not part of result now. So you take them back to chapter 3. So then the table. So, then this the findings contribution to knowledge. Yeah, they were written as if they were findings. I think Prof said something like that. That is the way you will find contribution to knowledge. But the way they are being written here, they are being as if they are findings. So please recast them. So then. Yes, it's going for APC already. No, it's at this. It's going. Have you submitted this?
No.
Okay. So please do those corrections. So please, your references, try and follow the PG format. Then lastly, include the front page of your publication at the end to justify. Not that you just tell them we are published. Not that you write it on the slide. Please. Yes. So include that at least. Yes. Yes. You understand? Of the publication. Yes.
But this one is one page. You don't get paid of the
Normally, when the problem is going, it has a copy of the public.
Mhm.
Then,
That was like this one now. It's something I told you, bro.
they will just be there for the work.
One last slide of this.
Yeah, will be attacked. But then, with the memo going with it, there will be the report.
What's that?
I have the proper information and knowledge where it goes.
No, that's very key. That's academic honesty. All perspective to acquire data. Yes, I mentioned it. Also, you make clear that I mentioned all perspective to acquire data.
But you need to ask for.
To acquire data, and you also store data. No, I'm saying now, if it's a technical, I think that is like, it's like lot of data or something, right? And each of them with
The time duration for the organization 2011 to 2016. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There is inadequacy of data. The general data that we are saying, just that it was referring about 4 years or 6 years or something like that. But people in night set, to mention that.
I mentioned it.
I mean that part.
So, okay.
Not acknowledgement, though. That's another part. That's the goal. No, because of your general. Because we have the carry that.
Sorry,
Yeah. We don't stop.
sir, one last thing. Although this one is just like a general statement. The latest now is that they are not enforcing it. They are trying to encourage. They are for PhD students. At least this is a department that have been working on area like this. That should cite local authors in your thesis. Even if that person is your enemy, as far as he has worked there. Yes, right. You understand? Now they encourage it. Even that person is your enemy, as far as that person has worked there, cites the person. Because there was a case, somebody presented 2 weeks ago, and another person in the same department was seated. He said, "Felt embarrassed that this person did not cite me." An NPC member, but we just gloss over it. So from there, they now said, I think you should start encouraging encourage the local authors. You see, all the citation will count in the later on. One way or the other, it's going to count. And it's not only your thesis, though, when you are published, there are sites, local authors. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. You've done a very good work, and we pray that you don't just rest it even after the PhD. Because what I can make out of your work is that there is a global solution. And this global solution, because we do not contribute so much data from this part of the world. So the global solution is skewed towards where data is available. And this work is trying to bridge that gap. And you have done that for the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Is that correct? Yes. So now, there is something then missing in your claims. Because number one, your title is talking about correlation. And I think Dr. Bimini has mentioned that. You are correlating, and I could see, even though I don't have hard copy of your work, I could see that even in your abstracts. You are correlating physical effects, and you are correlating performance of your tools. Because now you're talking more about the root mean square, you're talking about deviation, you're talking about the performance of SG boost, you're talking about performance of ENN, you're talking about performance of so many of your discriminant functions. And that's where the confusion comes in. This work is beyond the performance of tools. These tools are things that you just applied, but you had a vision The vision is to bridge the gap locally for a global problem. Why don't we just focus on that, even in your title, from the beginning to the end? So because, in fact, I realize that that's the reason why you have equations in your discussion of results. Yes, we are not discussing these equations. We are discussing your contributions. Everybody can do SGBOS. If I go on MATLAB, I have 2 boxes that does that for me. But that is not your work as a geomatics engineer. That's not your work. Your work is to solve a physical problem, which you have done. So I think the lens through which you are looking at this work should change. You should not look at it in the lens of, oh, you want to do mathematical. You meet people like Egbemi there all the time. You meet them there. But stay in your zone. Stay in your zone. This work is stronger than the way you have presented it. It is making up for some things that are missing. And you have to, that's what you have to claim. And it goes even into your contributions to knowledge. We did not see that claim there. We didn't see you are making claims to mathematical contributions. No, that's not your thing. You are above the meteorologist. You are above the weather forecaster. You are above them. So you are in the order of space science now. So that's where you should dwell. That's where you should dwell. Then there are some questions that I had that has been clarified in the process, but I don't know whether they are still relevant, because I was going to ask you that this data that you use, were they pre-processed from the source that you got them from, or that you have to pre-process them, you have to standardize them for the tools that you have used, and how do you identify the basic features that you are looking for in this data? Because that is very important in all the trainings that you are doing. So you have to do things like a principal component analysis. You have to, yes, I learned when you were talking about the effects of wind and the contributions of wind and scale. But if you are looking for data that has been acquired through the ionosphere, some of us know that there is what is called the tropical anomaly with ionospheric storms. So how does that affect your data? How did you filter that out? All these issues, I hope they are not quite important, but if you find them important, please incorporate them into your work. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think mine is just a brief comment. Others have spoken well about the work. Is your objective 4? Go to objective number 4. Okay, please, before you leave that slide, take it back. Yes, duration, 2011 to 2016, 6 years. 2011 to 2016, 6 years. Then the last one, the third one, you wrote 12 years. Is it correct that it's also 6 years? You need to correct that. It's even 5. So go to objective number 4. Okay, go back. Are you there? Okay, 4. I think the focus of this objective is not the time series analysis. You're only using that to achieve something. So it should be to determine the spatial-temporal distribution of PWV through the use of that time series analysis. So the focus. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, so that can be, yes. Okay. Then objective 5, I think that we need to say something about objective 5. So you can also work on that objective 5. Thank you very much.
Any other comments?
So thanks a lot for. It's the next one now. So you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Oladusi, you have the floor. Let's go with the 15 minutes also.
Good afternoon, sir. My HOD. Good afternoon, the PG coordinator, professors here present, my fellow colleagues. My name is Oladusi Stephen Olushola. I'm here to present the proposed thesis titled Modeling the Sedimentation of Igbo Bada using smart computing technique. Okay, this is the presentation outline. Now, in this the top of the and most importantly, in places where we have bad land, it usually leads to the development of gully And if it develops into gully and the gully sediment moves into the river channel, particularly if that river is dammed at the downstream, then the capacity of the sediment to impact the dam is very, very possible. And that's why this study is being carried out. So there are different models that can be used for modeling. You have the empirical model, conceptual model, particularly being hybrid and soft computing. And the statement of the problem, first, I know that gully, these two gully, they have impacted a lot. They have caused different kinds of havoc, just like it has been shown. And research is carried out by Yoruba and Audi, Yoruba and Izion in 2012 have shown that this gully, they have done greater havoc. The aggravation of the Ikoba Dam's sedimentation. The dam would have lived longer, but because of the surge caused by this sediment that is coming from upstream, which was not expected when the dam was constructed in the first place, as impacted more on it. Then underperformance of the dam, and then acute water shortage problem. The proliferation of borehole, which has been seen by Okwebo and Isebwa in 2020, as can create problem in the Akweba. Then the aim of the research work is to model the sedimentation of Okwebo Dam using smart computing techniques. Research as shown here. The significance of the study. The study is significant because just like the sustainable development goal, has revealed that efforts should be put in place by various countries to be able to mitigate environmental disasters and problems. So one of the problems is in the area of water resources. This work is important because it's going to address that, and at the same time, it's going to also address the issue of land degradation that is being caused by gully. Then the underperformance of the dam is not good for the metropolis, because the dam is supposed to supply water to people. A lot of dam useful life due to poor maintenance. The potential to generate electricity has been investigated by Egbiki et al. Of that same dam. Then potential to generate revenue for the state government, and then meeting the international advocacy for clean environment and safe environment. And the limitation will be seen in the area of data availability, because majorly field observation are heavily required and is capital intensive. That's what I try to use in this work. Then gully alone is considered as the major supplier of the sediment to the dam. Then the study did not account for sediment beyond the dam, and sediment is assumed to not have escaped from the dam at the time of observation. There is work as a channel of assumption for sediment and treatment between gully and dam to be able to relate them. And this is the process. I mean, the conceptual framework. I'll look at the gully up there, try to calculate the volume of gully using average area method or formula. And then this is where the stock computing or smart computing system is going to operate. And this is the dam. A different volume of dam at different epoch, just a concept. Try to see what comes up. And then this is the study area. Study area is divided into 3 sections. The first study, the second, and then these are the dam. Then the coordinates of the location is shown. Literature review. These are the literature review consider. I saw in the literature that people have used Canvas with other models to model sediments. Most of the time, they model suspended sediments and use it for other prediction, rainfall applied to groundwater and so on. But in this work, what we will look at is the accumulated sediment, which is what I classify as the bed load, because that's what is that. Then literature review, these are just a summary of what was constructed, and more is still going to be constructed. And what this person is, what this research is looking at as the area of gap, to see how we can increase the volume of, the number rather, of the modeling, artificial modeling, machine learning, to see if we can get a better result. Then two, to also try to compare this work with the previous work that has been done, particularly using an improved methodology in data capturing. And I also, this research also introduced a web-based application, which is in R software, that's the R Shining, to bring up an interactive way of carrying out the comparison and then discovering the best performing model. Then this is the methodology, this is the data we use. Some are computed, some are obtained, some are model, as the case may be. And then the training and the validity was at the ratio of 75 and 25, because that was the one that gave us the best result. Is calculating volume of soil loss. This is the formula that was used. We have the volume of soil loss from the gully. And then to calculate the volume of sediment loss, this is the formula that was used. The dam was impounded in 1975. And then from that time to the time of current study, the volume of sediment accumulation can be gotten. In the modeling phase, we have this research used 8 models listed here in the R-Shining web. Then the most viable model was selected for further use. And the proposed model that was selected was coactive adaptive universal inference system. This is a system that gives multiple inputs, multiple outputs, and then it capitalizes on the learning ability of artificial neural network, and then the if-then rule of Ph.D. logic. Then this, the C that is there shows that when you combine AMPHI together, you can arrive at the C AMPHI, that coactive AMPHIs, because AMPHIs in itself cannot produce multiple outputs at the same time. This is the architecture of this research work, the model, that's the Canvas model, and the output is the variable rate and the volume of sediment that was done. And then this is the Fuji rule. Okay. These are the layers in that Canvas model. each layer performs different functions, and then they are in 5 stages, as can be seen. Then the membership function, in this work, we use about 4 membership functions to also determine which of the membership function to be able to give us the best results. In this place, a mathematical model was formed based on the fact that if we can be able to aggregate or get the volume of sediment at the coming from the gully at the upstream, and can get the volume of sediment at the dam, then we can try to see what we will not be able to get, which is at the channel of what really I call the channel of assumption. And then you can use that one to be the difference that was not accounted for at the time of observation. So in doing so, we try to relate them using a smoothing parameter. This smoothing parameter, but it's this way, got the value of 2.075. And we're able to go ahead to make it to fall within 0 and 1. 0 will mean that it cannot exist. Then 1 will mean that we have a perfect system. And basically, we cannot actually have a perfect system. And that informs the prediction error that we later got. These are the statistical metrics that was used to verify the performance of the model. Now, the input parameter were fed into the system according to the bounded black box. Then we have this output. Now, the presentation of results. First result is estimation of sediment supply from gully. Now, for the Uniben Gully, 2017 to 2019, this value was obtained. And then for Ikosaluku, this value was obtained. And the summation of the two values gives us this as indicated in the footnote. Then in 2022, data was also collected concerning the gully. But at Ikosaluku, remedial intervention has taken place, so we don't collect data here. So therefore, we also program the model to be able to account for when there is a single source of sediment. Then this is the second the result for second objective, and this value was what was gotten based on the calculation. Then the comparison with previous result was the first, with the third result. In comparison to previous results, this is the volume, the original volume of the dam. This was the previous result gotten in 2011, and this was what was gotten in 2010. Now, based on the ICODE, that's International Commission on Large Dam, it was stated that the useful life of a dam should be around should be 100 years at least. And then the previous study estimated it to be 171, while the current study estimated it to be 73 years. Now, if we look at this, we see that this is outrageous. And that's one of the things that this work is trying to improve, because this one has the capacity to misinform people that are supposed to come to the rescue of this dam. But as it is now, with the current results, it can be shown to decision maker that yes, this dam really needs attention. Now, for the model performance, these are the results that came out. Counties came the best for volume, even for bed load, and it's bolded here to show that. Then in the, I don't know whether time will permit, but in the application that was created, these are the outcome. And in the prediction, this is a prediction to target. It's not a time series prediction. So this prediction to a target for a single point, based on that web application that was created to incorporate the other the models and the intelligence model. These are the results. Then for multiple prediction, which we have close to 480 rules of data, you can't present all. So, but I presented, I just used index. I presented part of it, then I concluded by bringing the final result. And this is the actual that was measured in that 2022. And this is the prediction of each of the model. It's currently showing close to the required volume. Now, the same thing with bed load rates. The prediction goes thus. So decide to also summarize the table by showing the final average bed load rate that having for that down. This is the selection of the best model, which is Canvas. We're using it further to do prediction. Now, the Gaussian reversing function with 7 in both cases yielded the best result. That was what was quoted in this table. Now, the Smoto parameter that I talked about before, we achieved, this study achieved the best predicted volume of dam at a 0.230 and error rate of 0.14%. That gives us the volume of sediment. So, like I said before, a scenario came up which was not envisaged, and it was the remediation of Ipoba Dam, which couldn't make us to have data for 2022. So, because the model has been the model has been there, so it's not to validate if the model will be able to work based on that event that came up at the middle of at the very end of the data collection process, which could not make us to get data to collect them. Now the Canvas model was able to predict, and that's what we have. Now find in Uniben, the volume of gully was found to be this, and then in Eagles of the group was found to be this, and then in 2000 is this. That was achieved. Then the difference between them is quite much, which is this. Then the comparison of the gully soil loss indicated that the length of gully may not necessarily determine the amount of soil loss at a particular period. So that means the rate at which a gully has existed, for instance, because if the gully has existed, it has the tendency of moving from stage to stage, the initialization stage, the maturity stage, the stabilization stage. So, Uniben gully is longer in length, but the Igosa gully is just starting and is at the developmental stage. So massive soil was exceeded from there. Okay, this is the result for storage capacity loss. The original reservoir volume is this, then the previous is this, the current is this. The annual loss in storage capacity for the previous was this. This current study was this. And then the expected useful life of the dam, which is supposed to be from 1975, we had about 50 years to it. We get 2025. That's the, sorry, this is supposed to be the half-life. The current study has calculated to be 2025. This is half-life. I'm sorry for this. This is half-life, not useful. Then the half-life of the dam that was expected that it reaches its expected half-life earlier by 20 years. And the useful life of the dam, which was 171 from physiology, was also improved upon. Then another finding is that the canvas model predicted the segments accumulation in the dam, and then other models also like SG boost, vision tree, and random forest. They also perform very closely to canvas, which shows they can equally be used or served as alternative in the study area. Then validation and deduction from the model, I think explained this one. Now, in the process of closing one gully and checking the effect on the, so the Unibank gully, we have this value for during model building, and this value during model validation. It goes to our local, the value will remain the same because we do not have data. That's 1.86 for the 2 years. So contribution to knowledge. Okay, like I said, the gully length will not necessarily be the determinant of volume of soil loss expected from gully in all cases. The flexibility of the web application developer can take new data sets whenever new observations are carried out. Recommendation. Publication from the. Thank you.
How many minutes of it spent? He started 12:27 this now around 20. So complete that 15 minutes. So nobody going to allow you. We are just doing activity at the last.
It's all I do. It's all I do. You didn't present with the consciousness that you are under examination. It's just like maybe you have a lecture with students. That's the way it goes. That consciousness is not there. And time management is part of what is going to get done. Now, the title. What the title? You didn't number your slides. So, how to number your slides? Then the title starts to follow the presentation we gave and the first session, where you have the University of Lagos, of the Department of Surveying and Informatics. Because I think we try to estimate the lifespan of the dam. In the determination of the Koba Dam, if you can't get more than the keyword, and you do within
reliable network. Evaluation of selected model techniques on the prediction of sediment volume in the determination of the global dam sustainability. Because we are trying to look at what impact the sediment will cause on the lifespan of the dam. And you have models that we try to use for the prediction. People arrive at the one that will take first try the actual sediment volume. Then your aim you need to recast your aim, like Dr. Chikamo in the organization. You need to recast. Sediment under the dam. Those are the one you need. It's not showing gullies and the dump site. So then I have problem with the title. Although Prof has helped us. Please, from the modeling aspect of view, at Ph.D. level, you can't use the one modeling when you are gathering data and you are putting in the software. There are major two types of modeling: empirical modeling and mechanistic modeling. The empirical modeling are those ones that you gather data and you just put the software. Input in software and get something out. The mechanistic model are those ones you use all these laws, physical laws, conservation laws. So develop. Your model can do 4 things: predict. You understand? Model can diagnose, can help you to diagnose something, can determine. I hope you are getting it. Yes, and the model can prescribe 2Ps, 2Ds, majorly. So the prediction are those ones that you say you focus on everything. You understand what I'm saying?
So now, you presented some models, you say empirical, physical-based model and model. I don't know, because I was expecting, when you say modeling of, what I was expecting is all the, sorry, it's not because of mathematical aspect, is the way you calculate it, like, you want to model the sedimentation, accumulation, the erosion of it, then you bring the two equations together from there, all these differential equations will come, and then you'll be able to predict, I don't know. That is what I expected. That is the intention of the type 2 as to put it here. That means you are going more into mechanistic aspect of it. But this one you did now is empirical. So it's better you say evaluation than to say modeling.
Yeah, put empirical something.
Yeah. So if you want to use the word model, just say empirical, because the modeling aspect of it is gathering data, put it in a machine learning software, and now the machine learning now gives you some correlations. That area they will just ask you, what have you done? Those are the things you have to. Your evaluation should be key. The evaluation should be the main thing you should be talking about, not you model. I like the results. When you go to the part of result and discussion, I was thrilled with those ones. But before that time, now, because I actually wanted to talk of your slide, because there is no light now. Let's sit down. Let me come to your report. As I said to the previous presenter, background must contain 5. Yes. Yes. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Your background must contain 5 aspects. You had one I said it.
Yes.
The background here, apart from not being organized, you're not even. I cannot even say this is the circle of background. This is the circle of. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. So please, you have to rewrite it. Just rewrite everything. Then 2, I read your report from beginning to the end. I found out that you are fond of this backward and forward with disjointed sentences. Paragraph 1 will not have anything to do with paragraph 2. You can go and read it yourself. When you are writing report, it should flow. There should be flow of thought from one sentence to another, from one paragraph to another. That is when somebody will be intrigued with your report and want to read it. But going through a lot of sentences, I don't know if you are making sense to you. Okay, please try to correct that. Then now statements like when you wanted to start, you said background of the study. You yourself, you said background of the study is section 1.1. Then when you want to write, I don't know if I told the previous presenter, there is not like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 in any section. 1, then dots. It is the subsection you can say 1.1. I don't know if I'm making sense. 1 dots, nothing like it's just introduction 1.0. Even if you writing, you don't say 1.0, you say 1 dots. It's not the subsection, you can say 1.1, 1.2. I don't know if I'm getting it. So then now the statement of the problem. Under the statement of problem statement is what's the gap in literature? Let me put it that way. What they have not done, or the problem you are solving, should be like a statement. I don't know if I get what I'm saying. Then Prof said, you see, like the way we normally use aim is the destination. Objectives are the ways you want to get to the destination. You understand me now? So what do you have in mind in doing this?
I have in mind to.
But what do you want to get out? At the end of the day, purpose and your purpose.
My purpose is to be able to compare the result of this work with the only available study on sedimentation concerning that dam. That's one. Another.
No, it should be 1. Cool.
Okay. Okay, my.
All the final product.
the final product is to get the volume of sediment in that dam and to be able to give advice based on what I had.
You see, getting volume of the dam, and that will take 3 years to do Ph.D.
No, it's repeated bathymetrics of.
I know. I don't know. You've not stated the aim.
No, you can just get a conviction. And it has the starting point.
Let's do this here so that you not fail there. Because I can see problem here.
Even me.
I can see problem here. We have APC member like 3 here, and we know what we face there. And we just say, let me say, I tell your PG coordinator, this is a strategy. The report you are submitting will still be given to one of us. You're examining either me or Dr. or him. It's one of us that the two land on our table. In fact, they have called me the department that's why I asked that have you submitted this thing? Because they already called the department. The second have come that they have brought something from PG. Those people that want to pay this. So once they see title and something like that, there are some people that you know that is the area. They won't give all these people from Idianaba. He's one of us. So we are saving you from what you might face. Because the correlation of your score will be based on average of people that will be there. It's not about 3 of us that might want to look away based on the fact that we are coming here to correct you. Some people, the way you are even presenting, they will just call you low. Even though they don't have idea of what you are presenting. Yes.
That was
the lady. The average, the last week, sorry to say this here, the average score was 45. That lady scored 44. They find out everybody and they ask her to come back. And 44 to 45. Now last 3 months. Just 1 mark. So please, it's better we correct it so that you can pass and pass very well. You understand what I'm trying to say? So while you are writing the aim should be like your destination. Now that's why we're asking you, what is your aim? You must establish it by yourself. This topic was given to you. What is your aim? What do you want? What is the goal? Where are you arriving at? What is your destination?
I'm arriving at determining the volume of sediments accumulated over time in that dam.
Let me tell you something. Dr. Bimini has already given the answer to this question. When was telling you what models are for? Even if I repeat that, that's it. All your examiners, the answers are already the question.
You need to think through this. And even me, I'm having issue with you way back. And that's a very deep conviction. You want to convince the audience.
You are developing the model to be very big.
Yes. You understand?
How you now want to achieve it, list it as your objective.
Okay. So please try as much as possible to do that. Then in your objective, I want to show you something. And this should be general statement. You see, when you do model, I say part of the objective is to compare. You
That's naturally.
It's not to tell me that I want to go to a party. Okay. Part of this that you press. Look at it. Number 3, number 5. Responsibility is not an objective. It's a must to remove it. And the way you call number 3 is this standing as if you want to compare. Now, at this point, now this validation, even though you are going to remove it, let me now clarify. This validation, how are you comparing? Which result are you going to compare with? Now, okay, let's say number 3 now.
3. The result that was gotten by the previous research on that.
Is it experimental or field study or what?
It's also field study.
Or model? Is it their model?
No, it's not model. They computed using empirical method, which I also used before I put the value I got to the model.
So let's say something. One is gullies, the other one is down. So now now let me say, let's say somebody asks you.
No, sorry, the connection like he said, like current G1 and 2.
They can be added together.
No, even the gullies, what there was so much profile about that.
So the gullies are the upstream, and then
They are the one, they are from their sentence are coming.
they are coming to the, and that's the source that I'm looking at.
Okay, now I don't want to. Now, if somebody asks you what is the difference between verification and validation?
No, like
Verification and validation of model. What is the difference? That instead of you using validation here, somebody is now arguing with you that you do verification. What will you now say?
Verification, we need to check what has been done, whether you can compare it with what you have, or you have something to compare with.
So what is validation? If verification is now, what is validation?
Validation is a way of testing if the model.
So let's help you. I don't know if I'm taking time.
Take time.
Okay. So let me, because someone that does not have an idea, they have some idea of this side. I ask you some questions. Now, when you develop a model, theoretical model, like all those mechanistic model, and you compare the result of your own model, which is theory, to another theoretical model, that is verification, theory to theory. However, if you compare the result of your theoretical model to an experimental model or a field study model, that one is validation. Then if it is experiment to experiment also, it's also validation. So which are you doing?
Validation.
If you understand that. So we have that. Now you said study area, please. That area, section 1.4.2. Please remove that. It's not part of the formats. Then under your signal of studies, when you are presenting, there is a particular place about signal of studies. Look at it, it says signal of the study. Then you now say the justification. I think there is still this room of argument that justification and signal of study, they are not really the same. Some people say justification is a motivation. Why you are doing it? Yeah, why you are doing, why signal is that important? Relevance, thank you, sir. So you say signal bets, you know. Then when you are now writing justification, signal study, and signal study should not be general, it should be specific to that study. General. You said of this study, it should be tied to the study. Not, you cannot be telling me if you remove sedimentation, this is what we are.
But to generate revenue for those.
Yeah. So some of the things you stated here, they are general. They are general, like if when sedimentation is removed, this is what you achieve. But we are talking of your own relevance of your own. That if you do your own, this is what we are going to get. Don't give us general significance of that area. So then your definition of time should be operational definition of terms. It should be definition of terms. You understand that?
Yes.
What do you want to change? I had that let me Dr. Akala help us. We are all going to do it.
Operational definition of time means that other people, I mean, what is global that other people have done, but what's
Not done, used.
used.
They are used.
And but definition of operation of time means what comes. Okay.
For example, now let's say dam. Know the definition of dam.
Dam is everyone knows that.
Everybody saying we have definition. So that one is definition of dam. But if you're not like, maybe we come here now, you are not saying dam. The way you are defining it based on your work, this is what I call dam.
maybe orange. You can use orange as that.
That orange, this orange in our own research, we call orange that. That operational definition of town. So it will, so we can verify, you understand? So it's operational. I think your own should be definition of. Then, so I don't know how to say this. Yes, when you are typing, go to your equations now. When you are typing, try to use equation editor or OMA type your equation. Those equations, they look more pedagogical. As in something that's in textbook. And okay, wait, go back, please. Question 1. Could you just look at it, right? Putting unit in bracket. Look at your multiplication sign.
Yeah, I think I read the code.
See, I don't know. You understand what I'm saying now? Use a math type or equation editor. It will look fine. Move, go to the next one. Then I don't know. I think they said they should not be citing themselves.
They can't. Where?
Tell Oladosunto.
No, another from this work.
No.
No. Or you
Another-
publish where anytime.
Another work that was.
Where? Message something.
This is
No,
how-
No.
It does not. But you are
It's my
using it now.
undergraduate. It's
Undergraduate. I want to look at it. Anyway, you can continue with other questions, please.
You understand?
Yes.
If a work is published on this work, you don't be citing it. That's what they
It's not
your
for
front
this one.
of it. Because you are still presenting the work. So you are now citing your work again in your work. So that's why
This one is not the work.
I'm just
When did you start your PhD?
I started in 2017, 2018.
Well, this is going to be an issue. You must be able to clarify. I want to check if you are not here.
No, we
And
can.
what you want to now is excerpt of, I mean, you just listed. What is that here representing of it? Yeah, okay, so you can't cite something and you not write it here. Because I didn't see this allow us to I'm looking for it here.
Okay.
You understand? I don't want to cross check. If related to assume it's title related to the MTA, about this thing, going to be an issue. But this is far different. Maybe it's another thing entirely. No, we are going to get you an APC. It's not about telling you all this. If you have somebody who go and Google it, somebody will do that.
Yeah. If it is government,
I'm telling you.
it's even stop.
when you are presenting, so people are there. It's becoming as you are presenting, I was saying, they even come with the iPad. As you are presenting, they'll be checking
So
it.
someone is doing that. One is checking whether the any job related is global.
So you understand what I'm saying? So please try. Then most of your ito, they are not utilized. So most of your ito are not being utilized. Is it not supposed to use ANN for this work instead of the method the campus use at the other network?
Because of the volume of
No, I think I'm just trying to. I want you to justify why it's not used.
artificial neural network. Yeah, it's part of it. You use it to.
Oh, you said you start with.
So Campus is an improvement on. I mean, it's a system that uses artificial neural network and then physical logic. Capitalize on the reasoning ability of the app, then the physics if they improve. So what happened? The reason why I used it and take a step further.
So why do you if
to be able to produce?
I don't have a problem with that. If somebody say, okay, this one is there and then I want to use because your architecture look the same. Go back to your architecture. I don't know if I'm making sense. Look at it. It's there now. The same thing. Yeah. So if someone say it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I said it while I was explaining. While I was explaining, I said AMP cannot produce multiple output. And what I want to get is multiple output. So I'll have to
Amphis
go.
cannot produce.
I mean, yes, cannot produce multiple output at a time. So it has to combine, Amphis has to combine with Amphis.
That's the big argument. That's
Yes.
I'll be bold.
I'll be
I
bold.
will talk aloud.
It's presented as if it's pleading. So, now your abstracts. It's because we don't have detail. You have a lot of acronyms that we don't know the meaning. I don't know. Yeah, like the pure presenter, he defined them.
Not defined.
All
But
these
as always say,
countries,
start alone.
CNN,
Start alone.
yes,
Another
the tree, SBR, I don't know the meaning.
everything go to you.
Yes,
It can go to US. The government, somebody people now US, so we will not know.
no, that's what I'm saying. You can check with the other presenter. Please try to define them instead of summarize them. I mean, then under your section 2.6 and 3.6, they are the same. No, not on the board, they are the same. Put your, have we published on this one? Yes, you have published, so put it at the back. Now, the last one. Please, can you just, I saw something. Okay. So sorry, all this one, you know that they are part of their contest book on how all these things works. Machine learning, Canvas, these are things that you can find in textbook. You have to be very careful. Just lifted them here. No reference, nothing else. These are things in textbook. Because if you want to use all those machine learning and the rest, you have some basis, some things that you have to know. These are the things. And you put them in your slides and you are presenting.
That without a credit.
So that's one. Thank you, sir.
So, you know,
In your mind, have to be more affirmative. More affirmative. More fresh to your work. But then the organization. And I think what you can do, go back to your contributions to knowledge are also not properly. They are not properly structured. So after you have structured your contributions to knowledge, then go and rework it back to the objective. It's called backward integration. Or do it once in a while. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Carl.
Please, I just want to thank all of you for coming. And your comments are quite relevant and helpful. We have done the focus of the year. There's one thing you say, there's other things that will do. That's what you are saying. But I'm sure everything that you have said is taking note. That's next time. So thank you very much. I'll be leaving now because I'm preparing for my novel and they are looking for me to. So please let me go. Thank you very much. Welcome, sir. Thank you, Dr. Adelaide. Also,
Thank you very much, Mr. Oladuso. Just one question. The countries that you used, did you use it to estimate, evaluate, or use it to develop model? Because I see that performing all the time in your work. to develop model to model to model to model. To develop model or to estimate, just like we said, just very, very clear for us.
It's to estimate.
Estimate, not to develop model. But if you look at your study, I will just underline in the report to develop to model calculation. Even when you, even other research lab, you listed it under model development. I saw it. You listed that long empirical model. So, so you need to correct that. Thanks. So
Thank you so much for the presentation. In fact, I just want to start from I think Dr. Show I said some things now. Maybe just to take some things out of from there. From your statement of problem, the statement of problem you write that you wrote here is not captivating at all. This you need to strengthen that. And again, to again, it's very monotonous in your aim, sorry, in your objectives. Really, try and write it like the other one that we pointed out earlier. Your signal of study, you didn't write it to be captivating again as well, because the signal of study I have here just like just these lines, too cursory and full of reference. So you must let us know what your signal of study is, and like I said earlier, you must really see how you find this to one of the SDGs as well. But I think you are mentioned like you are looking at SDG 6 and 6 and 6 and 13 of the area. So you must bring that here and how that's going to be helpful. Anyway, you have been told to remove that operation that you wrote in front of that. So your contribution to knowledge, you didn't write it very well. That have been pointed out too. So go and strengthen your contribution to knowledge. You must write in such a way this study, developed. This study, you must claim it. That's the main aspect of even the whole work. In fact, when they are doing oral exam, that's what they want the external examiner to write somewhere, to even write somewhere. That's the whole test. But that's why they are giving the test, the degree. So you must be very, very strong what you are able to contribute to, not what others, what this study has been able to contribute. Now, okay, your recommendation I pointed out to, you can submit that into your conclusions there, and this contribution to knowledge will be the last part, 5.2. Then the other one, the conclusion should be 5.1. Then let it that one be 5.2. Not to knowledge. Now your references, you need to cite your references. Some of them are incomplete references. I pointed some things out here, especially when you are writing volume inside a review or some not in full, incomplete. So reference should be complete. The essence of reference is that anywhere anybody is, with that page, you're able to trace that document and get that document and read it. In fact, when you in the major review procedures now, people want your work to be reproduced. They want, a good reviewer. As they've given this to me now, I want to go and I'm supposed to go and sit down, reproduce the entire work and see whether there is producibility. If otherwise, they are going to negate work. You get what I'm trying to say. So that's the whole rest. I think the last one I just now want to mention is that how do you want to differentiate this your work from a degree that's coming from civil engineering, or a degree that's coming from geoscience, or a degree, you understand what I'm trying to say? What's the major component of geoinformatics here?
Okay, the major component of geoinformatics that is there is for the field that you mentioned, they don't have the capacity to carry out bathymetric survey, for instance. I said they don't have the capacity to carry out bathymetric survey because that one involves equipment that they cannot operate. That's number one. Then
no, it's not like that. That's not what it's going to do. Because that was semi-prison. That was special detail. Anybody that operates a machine, even you may see a job in the Department of Justice. You now you go and work. So
No, it's not about what I'm saying. That's not a way of saying it. That's not that the answer. You understand? That's not a way of saying it. That may be the answer, but that's not a way of saying it. You have to say
Those things, they are mostly resident in geoinformatics. Not that they can't do it.
and there are little, a little part of it should be within the document. Little part of that is that everybody is just
That they are
and
resident.
everybody cannot do it. And so let your provider can do it. And so some little component of it must be in your test. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, and you got that answer. So you don't go and suppress people and think that people are not doing anything. And now you are against your own. Yeah.
But I got to get that, if I have someone here,
Yeah, yeah. I think what about what yes. No, it's a half reference. I didn't say there are two references. I'm not saying maybe one or two.
Frustrating reference. There are specific goals or benefit from no one.
And yes, you can state one or two by like establishing your scenario of study, but major part of it should be what this work is going to bring about. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I really appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Anyway, just to say that I brought my co-APC people. I have to tell them that they must have, and I want them to put that in the engineering reading. Before anybody go and please let me just start everybody.
What's the difference between Yahya and the same?
Good. Now, if a student score, as I said, below 45 on average, and that 45 is seen in maybe 39 to 44 is represents, and that one is like maybe maximum 3 months or so. But if the score is so poor, that is far away from 30 something on average. So I don't have the score, I don't have the grade. So it's so poor that is below 34 or so, or thereabout. It's reappear, and that is minimum of 6 months. Now, if the student now reappear again and fail again, and it's also sent back to reappear, it might likely be to go and start another page. So that second reappear, you can go and start another page.
In this case, it is what finally okay and correct. But the presentation
The report is not good. That's what we are saying. What with the first presenter?
some people that are not having
What would see?
science or engineering that work now, and it does they put the report, yeah. It's not what I understand. The problem is not only work. It's not complex. Yeah, and that's what we I was coming
So it was too casual. It's acceptable to present relative.
No, it's not about dressing.
Any possible, I'm torn.
I'll revise. I'll revise because I want to say that
All among the government could die. It's out of place. They're like,
No, it's not
you are presenting as I do by my banner. Even though it's acceptable, they don't take part of that.
they take
And
okay.
they won't talk. They will have to
Yeah, for you.
they will talk. If I not pay,
It's my brother that I will tell you. Okay, all the money will What's any last system? When you people there? When you online? This is your own life. This is your own matter. What am I going online? But you are not